Ben Asgari, no doubt, watching that race. Where did you watch the Manikato from, Ben?
Yeah, good morning. I watched the Manikato from at home, actually, last night. I was knee-deep in form for Sale Cup Day on Sunday, actually, but I'm on my way to Moonee Valley as we speak, and I did have a front row seat on the couch watching all the action live on racing.com last night.
Yeah, I had a front row seat on the couch watching trackside here in New Zealand as well. What about Cox Plate Day? How excited are you? How pumped are you for this one, Ben?
Yeah, very excited. A little bit of anticipation because all we want is to see the grade mare, the best I've seen, win her fourth straight Cox Plate, become the first horse to do so. You know, you'd think with even luck in running, she should be doing that. But, there's a little bit of nerves, very excited. But I think everyone will be breathing a sigh of relief a little bit once it's all over if she is able to get the victory.
Yeah, it's the result we want to see. It is the fairy tale, but those champions will get beat at some point. Let's just hope it's not today. Let's have a look at weather and track conditions for Moonee Valley today. And Ben, you might be able to update us. 19 degrees, mostly cloudy with a chance of showers, light winds, tracks in good order and the running rail in true position. We spoke with our man on the ground, Greg O'Connor, earlier. He said it's quite cloudy there. Can you just give us a bit of an idea on what they've done in preparation from last night to today for track conditions?
Yeah, so it is a cloudy morning, top, as you said, of 19 degrees, so not an overly warm day. They put 5 millimetres on the track overnight of irrigation, so it's come up a good 4. It did get pretty firm last night. We saw Runson break Miss Andretti's 1,200-metre track record, giving you an idea as to just how firm that surface was. Not overly firm. There were no complaints of horses jarring up or anything, but it was just a firm, good 3 last night. The 5 millimetres will just get it back into that good 4 range. It's going to be crucial how this track plays throughout the day, because last year when we had the 2 meetings on a good track in succession, what actually happens is the inside, when it's firm, doesn't cut out. It actually compacts and makes the inside advantageous. So depending on how much water they put on will determine whether that inside compacts like last year and you want to be on horses nearer to the inside and on speed, or if they put extra water on and it cuts out, then it will be a traditional rail-true track of old where horses swoop and get out wide. So really important to monitor how that track plays today.
How does either scenario affect Winks, Ben?
Well, if it's the more likely scenario, in my opinion, is the track compacting on a firm surface, and then you have a situation like last year, where Hugh Bowman probably has to get going from about the 800 regardless. He doesn't want to let her get into any bad luck. He has to ride her like the best horse. Last year you saw Humidor having that advantageous rails run on the superior part of the track as opposed to Winks going 3 wide against the track pattern. And I think it was probably the difference between Humidor getting within half a length of her. I think she was still comfortably holding him on the line, but on a track like 2 years ago where the inside was off and it just becomes a test of the best horse, you saw what she did to Hartnell, who was flying at the time. So I think it gives a horse like Ben Battle a better chance of beating her. I don't think he can beat her, but it gives him a better chance of getting closer to Winks if the track is playing with an inside advantage as per 12 months ago. So it will be really interesting to see how that track does play today. It maybe has evened things up a little bit with the 5 millimetres of irrigation. And who knows, if it does have a bit of juice in it, still maybe that inside chops out.
I've read a little bit saying that the only way that Winks can get beaten is if it is a slowly run Cox Plate. With just the 8 runners, I guess there is potential for that to happen. How hard do you think this race will be run, and how do you see it panning out?
I don't think there's a lot of pressure in the first half of the race. It's pretty rare the Cox Plates are run slowly. The past 3 that Winks has been in have all been brutally run, but I think that Ben Battle will control the race from the front and then try and pinch a break at around the 800-metre mark. I think Hugh Bowman will be onto this. I do think he'll have Winks out and travelling in the 3 wide line from around 1,000 to the 800-metre mark, so that if those leaders get going, he can let her stride up to them from about the 800-metre mark. And I think she'll be right there on the turn. And if something's good enough to beat her, then good luck to them. But I'd be surprised if something was good enough to do that.
How do you bet the Cox Plate, Ben?
with great difficulty. I think Winks wins. I think the second place getter is likely to come out of the two obvious in Ben Battle and Humidor. I know Ben Battle had Humidor's measure last start. Many will argue that he has more improvement to come with the two, but with the blinkers going on, Humidor getting back to Moonee Valley, I think he's a legitimate danger of running second again, particularly given the fact that he'll likely be ridden quietly and just for luck like last Cox Plate 12 months ago. So I think Winks from Ben Battle, Humidor, and maybe D'Argento's the value from a second, third or fourth perspective. He was okay in a Caulfield Stakes. Should be better for the run at 2,000, and I think he'll beat home the likes of Villiers, Ross Rapovich, etc. But not a race. I think there's some good punting races on the program. I'm just going to sit back, have the fingers crossed, and try and witness some history in the Cox Plate.
Yeah, exactly. I think we all will. The Crystal Mile, what about this one? How'd you assess the 1,600 metre affair, Ben?
This is the horse I'm most keen on today in Cliff's Edge. Now, a few runners might be scratching their heads thinking, well, if you like him, why do you not like Siege of Quebec, who beat him home last start? Well, Cliff's Edge's effort to finish as close as he did in the Toorak Handicap was outstanding. It was a race where every other horse on the speed completely compounded and was beaten a long way, bar Cliff's Edge, who sat outside of El Paso and was still there at the 100-metre mark and wasn't beaten far in fifth position. It was a really fast race. He did a tremendous job. Siege of Quebec, who did beat him home, came from off the speed, which was definitely an advantage in that race. I like the fact that Cliff's Edge can roll forward and make his own luck on the speed. If the track is playing on speed, and if it is a defence is off, then he's got that wide draw, which should allow him to get out into the middle part of the track. So I think he's going to be really hard to beat. And the way Darren Weir prepared his horses, if anything, he should hold his level or potentially improve again. So I'm keen on the chances of Cliff's Edge in the Crystal Mile, race 7 on the program.
Okay, and what about the Moonee Valley Cup? How did you see this one, Ben?
Yeah, this is a really tough race. I'm going to forgive Tosin Basil one poor run last start in the Caulfield Stakes. Now, he's a horse that gets very hot on race day, so we'll have to wait and see the comments from Jane Ivel in the mounting yard. But if he's okay and he can just hold things together a little bit, then you look at his run 2 starts in the Underwood, it reads really well for this race, and you look at his Japanese form at this sort of distance range, 2,400 metres plus, and it is simply outstanding for a race of this nature. So we'll monitor him in the yard, but if he can just keep himself together a little bit, then I think Tosin Basil's going to be really hard to beat. The interesting runner that gets a run in the race now is the Trent Buxton and Natalie Young trained Sully. Now, he ran second in a Cranbourne Cup last start. He's only just got a run in the race this morning with a couple of scratchings. He sneaks into the field. He's another one that I think can run well at double-figure odds on an each-way basis in Sully. He finished ahead of Runaway last start in a Cranbourne Cup. Runaway, of course, came out and won the Geelong Cup. So I think Sully can run really well at odds, but we'll just monitor the mounting yard, because if Tosin Basil is at his best, I think he should be really hard to beat.
Brilliant, Ben. We've seen that Very Elegant's come out of the Vase as well, a key lead up into the Classics during Cup Week. Have you assessed that race in her absence?
Yeah, I think there's one at a bit of value with Very Elegant coming out. She looked hard to beat because I think she's a very, very smart filly, as you guys in New Zealand would know. She did a lot wrong in the Ethereal Stakes and was still too good. She's got a lot to learn, but I can't wait for maybe 6 to 12 months when she finally puts it all together. With her out, I think the race opens up a little bit for the Matt Laurie trained Real Success. I know the market's keen on those horses coming out of the Spring Champion Stakes in Arameo and also Dealmaker. That form's obviously been franked through Think and Big, but Real Success was really good at his latest run at Caulfield in what was a fast race. He was stuck behind the on-speed horses with absolutely nowhere to go on the turn. The momentum was all out wider. When he finally did get clear over the last 100 metres, Real Success, he was really strong, and he was particularly strong through the line, suggesting that he'll appreciate the step up to 2,000 metres. He's a son of Reset. I think on breeding he should handle the rise and distance, and I think he's a promising horse. So at about double-figure odds, I'm happy to have something each way on Real Success in the Moonee Valley Vase.
Good on you, Ben. We'll, maybe if we can just get you to summarise, I've got to say I'm liking your Cliff's Edge.
Yeah, Cliff's Edge. I'm making Cliff's Edge the best bet of the program in race number 7, Winks Aside, of course. I don't mind Tosin Basil, barring that he holds it all together in the mountain yard in the Moonee Valley Cup. I think Sully's a little bit of value in that race. I'm tipping in the last race, Real Success on an each-way basis at double figures. And another one earlier on in the program for the punters, if they wanted a bit of value, around the $9 or $10 mark is Batty Oz on an each-way basis. Race 2, Batty Oz for Team Godolphin. But good luck to everyone having a bet today, and fingers crossed that the great mare can do it again.